And Black History Month, to me, symbolizes equality and justice, as we saw in America, George Floyd's murder, as we see the Black Lives movements. The struggle for equality and justice remains as important as 50 years ago. And the question is for us in the 21st century, should we be even talking about those issues?
If you're doing things, let's come together and stop young people that feel they have no hope because they're told you can't do this, you can't do that, and there is no space for you because of your colour. You need to stop that.
Are the youngsters being engaged enough into Black history? Because it tends to, when I go to a lot of Black history events, they tend to be the converted people who are there. Right. And I'm worried about how we get the youngsters engaged more. The British youngsters I'm talking about.
Where there was once a snail, and this snail took 7 whole years just to cross the road. Was the snail slow or was the snail fast? I'll leave you to work that out.
I think it's the friction between that model and this contemporary idea of women having everything. I think that's what causes the resentment often and the bad feeling in women and the difficulties.
I thought the first question we could discuss is, what was it about that humour that made it so funny, and what was it that made you laugh as you read through the book?
I've just remembered one of the parts that made me, again, like do that little smile was when Muhtar came out of his coma, and she has that feeling of like, oh my goodness, he knows all my secrets, and all of a sudden he's awake again.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Rhyme and Story Time with me, Tian. We make Camden, celebrating Black History season. We will be spending this time learning about some bold women in Black history from Vashti Harrison's book, Little Leaders. They're brave, they're bold, they've changed the world. Maya went on to write her best-selling masterpiece, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, a lyrical and poetic telling of her childhood.
From this place, to another dimension, to another space and time, storytelling is about once upon a time.
And they'll row their boats, and they'll cross over to this man's cassava, yam, and potato farm, and these monkeys will help themselves.
Draw out the nice red bike. He get on his bike and he start to ride to call his friends. The bike was nice. Had a little basket in front to put his school books. The bike was a nice bike.
Oh, don't mind me. I'm burning this to cleanse the space. Have you noticed how the atmosphere has changed? Derailed. Deranged. It's so strange. In this climate of fear, someone has to make the activists who have gone before feel safe here. So they said they wanted a poet at the protest. They said the poet should lead the call, but my words can choke, caught in the fibres of this mask, so I dare not speak the enormity of the task in case my words hold my tongue in a spell.
It's a pleasure to be working once again with Camden, as we have done for many years. So I've been asked to demonstrate the most typical Sunday dish in a Caribbean home. That's brown stewed chicken.
Welcome to Cook Along for Camden. Today we are making saltfish fritters.
Curry pot that will be served with rice and peas and the plantain. You can use whatsoever curry you like because everybody has a different taste for curry.
My heritage myself is Moroccan, Jamaican, and Indian. So this is my take on a ginger loaf.
Now that we've got all our apples in our bowl and we got all our cabbage and our carrots, just gonna mix it up.
Oh my God. Just take me home.
I think activism at the heart is about driving change. It's about kind of pushing towards action, and that is, whether that's a force, whether that is a conversation, it is really kind of amplifying it and bringing it out to wider audiences.
The statues are very important in our society, and some people say we should remove them, especially those statues linked to slavery. My view is that we shouldn't topple these statues, because they're an important part of not only white people's history, but an important part of ours.
I also liked Athen's point about how to keep it real, we need to have not just a race focus, but also a class focus, because the danger is that movements could divide people as well as bring them together.
Let's begin our conversation about Black cultural representation in the film and TV industry.
Usually, as a Black production company, you're often offered a one-off commission, so a one-off 1 hour program, which is great, but actually isn't very sustainable if you're a business. So actually with these companies, the idea is to get them to series. So that could be, a series that could be a returnable series that then allows them to then employ more people, and we kind of have an ecosystem happening in the industry.
Literally just switched on the TV one day and saw Coming to America was on TV, and it's a film that we obviously grew up with, but we were too young to see it in the cinema. And we just had this thought, like, wouldn't it be fun just to put it on the cinema just for like one night only kind of thing?
Most of the time, a lot of people got to do this as like a bit of a side hustle, because they've got to keep their normal job going and kind of find time to kind of put on films on the side, really, which is not really fair, which is this sort of thing dedicates what deserves more dedication. You need to be dedicated to be doing this, really. It should be a full-time job. So money is definitely one thing.
So Black Pound Day is a day where we're asking all communities to come forward and spend with black businesses on that day. It happens once a month, every month, the first Saturday of every month. And it came off the back of the aftermath of the death of George Floyd. I could utilize the emotional energy of the people on the ground, part of the protests and the marches, and get them to take their fists out the air and put it in their pocket and spend with black businesses, because I believe that it's a more sustainable way of engaging with our community and supporting our community.
What I found was that once I took it to market, it flew, like it went really well. And then I think in terms of external things, I think it was just more support. I think it was just more about finding like childcare and figuring out how to do the logistics of just the day-to-day things, as well as balancing creating and growing a business, really.
Yeah, because as a parent, it can be hard sometimes.
Yes, it's definitely a tricky balance, but
Yeah,
you do what you have to do when you're passionate about things. So,
Exactly.
I'm really excited to be launching our STEAM Futures programme. Science, technology, engineering, the arts and mathematics, and the future possibilities that are open to our young people through studying these subjects.
What got you interested in working in your current job?
For me, this was very interesting because it's working on problems that are very new to the world, because that's what happens a lot with technology problems. It's things we didn't guess would be problems before.
What skills do you think you need to be successful in your sector?
It's a lot about your attitude. Finishing stuff is probably one of the biggest things in my job. Lots of people have really great ideas. The people that really get supported are the ones who can prove it and finish it and deliver it.
I want a culture where we're promoting the textiles that are indigenous to Africa. I want to see more kente. I want to see more adire. I want to see more ashoke. I want to see more, just all of the, the Bogolan from Mali. I want to see more of that, because that for me is the true marker of who we are and what we do as Africans.
So head wraps are all about knots and tucks, okay? Just think about it. You put some knots in and then you tuck the rest of the material into the head wrap, okay? So there's nothing hanging out, there's no material hanging out, and that's an updo, okay? So very similar to the way that I'm wearing my wrap, except I haven't covered all of my hair. So I've just done a kind of half updo.